Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Chapter 21 is officially out. Without any further delay, let's jump right into the review. Sarada is on the cover page, showing her Mangekyo sharingan and holding her glasses. With a red background and Sarada's Mangekyo ability, which is revealed to be called Ohirume, she is absorbing Ryu's iron sand or darkness in a spiral format, which looks really cool. The title of the chapter is also Mangekyo sharingan. The chapter starts with the flashback of Sarada telling Chocho about her dream of becoming the Hokage like the 7th Hokage, Naruto. Chocho's response, as expected, was, "Really? You aim too high. I would rather find myself a boyfriend than some far future goal." Sarada replies, "I envy how easygoing you are." The next flashback is of Boruto telling her about wanting to become like her father, Sasuke, when she was blushing red. The next flashback is of when Sumire asked her about Boruto. Sumire said, "Doesn't it bother you at all? Whether other girls might like Boruto? Well, it certainly bothers me." This scene was cut out from the anime for some reason. The next flashback is of Naruto telling her, for him, a Hokage is someone who thinks everyone in the village is like family. After these conversations, Kid Sarada decides or undermines herself by thinking, "I am not an extraordinary ninja like Lord Seventh or my dad. I don't have time to think about useless stuff. That's what I thought. So to become a Hokage like the 7th, my top priority was protecting the people of the Leaf first and foremost." Then a brief flashback of the Omnipotence arc is shown, how Boruto lost an eye trying to protect her, Shikamaru informing everyone that Boruto might have killed Naruto, Mitsuki telling her to get out of his way so he can kill Boruto, and Sasuke telling her that it's a perfectly normal reaction, and discussing with Sumire how a non-natural power is at play, probably because of Ida. Sarada realizes this is way too cruel. Why can't Boruto catch a break? Her normal eyes turning into the Mangekyo sharingan. Then we transition to a flashback of Sasuke and Boruto immediately after they left the village, because Boruto has bandages on the slashed eye, and his hair is not long as well. So this is 12-year-old Boruto, who left the village with Sasuke. Boruto asks, "Mangekyo sharingan?" Sasuke explains the Mangekyo sharingan to him, and says he believes Sarada because of the fact that she awakened Mangekyo. Sasuke continues, "Those eyes will be of great help going forward. Even though I suspect that Sarada herself isn't aware she awoke those eyes. But she will realize all of this eventually, and intuitively understand what her abilities are and what she is capable of. So whoever predicted that Sarada was not aware of her own Mangekyo awakening, you were right." Coming back, we transition to current time. Sarada is looking at Ryu, and others, including Ryu, are shocked. Ryu tries to attack her with his iron sand, but before it could reach her, it gets absorbed by the black sphere. Ryu says, "What are those black sphere? Is this Sarada Uchiha's ability?" Sarada says, "Mitsuki, take care of Yodo and Araya. Focus on protecting yourself." Mitsuki replies, "Sarada, those eyes are." Sarada says, "Don't worry. I know I just awakened this ability, but I think I have a pretty good grasp of what it is and what I can do with it." Ryu tries to attack in the direction of the sphere going through Sarada, but even that can't reach Sarada. An iron sand starts floating towards Ryu and gets sucked into another sphere behind him. Ryu realizes there are at least 4 of these black spheres. Sarada looks at Ryu, and he starts floating. Then she starts floating as well. We get a cool panel of both levitating. Meanwhile, Ryu says, "Shit, what's going on here?" Mitsuki understands what is happening. It's gravity. I think that sphere is generating gravitational force. Ryu, the iron sand, and Sarada herself are under its influence, and others are unaffected by its gravity. She is choosing the targets. Ryu tries to get to the ground using the iron sand, but he starts getting pulled into the black gravity sphere. And then Sarada begins her monologue. "I've been thinking about it for a long time. I think I've closed my eyes to the truth long enough. I felt anxious about the fact that my goal of becoming Hokage seemed so far away. In the face of misfortune that befalls me, I always feel powerless to do anything. But I didn't want to acknowledge that I was powerless. I was scared about that. So I closed my eyes to the truth." Sarada continues Sumire's feelings and my own. "My feelings about Boruto. Everything. I thought it was weakness. I denied it. And without realizing it, at the same time, I was denying the power hidden within me." Ryu screams, "What are you blabbing about, you psycho?" And again he tries to attack Sarada, but the gravity sphere is even bigger than Ryu, pulling him inside. Sarada says, "But I will no longer close my eyes to the truth, because if I do, I won't be able to face the reality in front of my eyes, and I won't be able to save anyone. Ryu brings a claw grime to try and escape, but he could only teleport 2 fingers back to the Shinju hideout, which Jura noticed, but his hand gets pulled back in the gravity sphere. He can't move a single finger. Sarada continues while her right eye starts bleeding. Becoming Hokage is my dream, but I need to start from the beginning. And accepting myself, strengths and weaknesses alike, is where I need to start. And we get a full-page spread of Sarada using and revealing the name of her Mangekyo ability. It's Ohirume. Sarada's eye is bleeding while she is levitating. 3 gravity spheres are behind her, and her Mangekyo pattern surrounds her. The page looks majestic. She is literally like a goddess. They have officially explained what Ohirume is. It is another name for the sun goddess Amaterasu. As I said in my previous video, this is her version of Amaterasu. So another ability is going to be either flame control like Sasuke or Tsukiyomi like her uncle Itachi. And this ability is indeed like a black hole, and usage of gravitational force parallels Boruto using it for his Rasengan Uzuhiko. Coming back, Ryu is being devoured by the gravity sphere. He screams in pain and explodes into pieces. Sarada continues levitating and bleeding through one eye, loses consciousness, and is about to fall, but Mitsuki grabs her using his stretching arm. Mitsuki says she must have used a lot of chakra. Also, it was her first time using the Mangekyo sharingan. Ryu's thorn bulb appears just like how it happened with Hidari. This whole sequence paralleled Boroshiki's awakening for the first time back in part 1. Both needed an insane power-up to defeat an enemy who seemed unbeatable, and Mitsuki was there to save them when they lost consciousness. Coming back, Ida informs Koji of this. Koji replies, so she managed to awaken it without problems. That was one of the most important parts of this battle, and now this has been achieved. The way Koji defined Sarada's Mangekyo awakening, it pretty much confirmed that it is going to be essential in upcoming future battles, not just against Ryu, just like Sasuke predicted in the flashback a few pages back. Coming back, Ida says, good for you. Too bad for Yodo though. Koji replies, couldn't do much about that. Her sacrifice was the most important contribution in achieving this result. This has been in no vain. Boruto asks, wait a second here, Koji. Answer me honestly. Was there a way to keep everyone alive while having Sarada awaken her new powers? Koji replies, I can tell you this. If you had gone to their rescue, Sarada would have never awakened her new powers. Boruto continues, you knew from the start that Yoda was going to die, and you told me nothing? Koji says, I judged that telling you this would have achieved nothing, and now that we have the result, I can safely say that this was for the best. Then Boruto asks, so what about Konohamaru-sensei? Is he going to beat Matsuri? Koji stays silent. Boruto is pissed and asks, answer me. Koji replies, you listen to me, Boruto. All the Shinjus share their senses with Jura. If you show up in front of Matsuri, Jura will capture you in a flash, and you will die. I saw this pattern occurring numerous times. Now Boruto stays silent. We move to Matsuri and Konohamaru. Matsuri is standing using her collar clothing things, which can be used like with style. It was intact after Konohamaru's double Rasengan last chapter, but her lower body is still missing. She has stabbed Konohamaru with it, and says, how dare you trick me like that? You bastard! You will pay for it. On the next panel, suddenly a shuriken hits Matsuri. On the next page we see it's Boruto, and we can see his flying Raijin marking behind him. Boruto used flying Raijin to get to Konohamaru, with the help of a piece of metal on the ground, which Mitsuki found in one of the previous chapters. Matsuri was about to say Boruto's name, but Boruto cut Matsuri to pieces before she could even complete it. Boruto's speed is so insane. Konohamaru is still looking in the direction where he popped up. He didn't even realize Boruto has finished Matsuri. On the last page, via Matsuri's eyes, Jura saw Boruto. Koji says, no, that idiot. Is he trying to ruin everything? Jura says, there you are, Otsutsuki Boruto, and the chapter ends. This is easily one of the best chapters ever. Sarada's flashback focused on how she held herself back, and her monologue acknowledged it, and finally she accepted herself as is, even with her feelings for Boruto. Boruto joined the fight for which Jura was waiting, and that cliffhanger with Jura was diabolical. We all know what happens when Jura stops reading and closes his book. Anyways, comment below with your thoughts on the chapter. Meanwhile, watch my previous videos, and we will meet in the next one.